Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this wonderful Wednesday. Let's learn something new today. And of course, a new chapter is waiting for us in many books. So let's start our journey with Ikigai, with Power of Subconscious Mind, with a heart thought, and of course, the Magic Weight Loss Pill. Let's start our morning with X programming. Let's run towards our dreams, knowing each one of them is coming true. And so it is. Let's start. For those of you who want to run on the spot, you can. For those of you who just want a moodle movement, you can. The idea is to energize yourselves from a, video peak state. Let's start with this. Yes. I'm a winner. Wonderful. Let's left leg in the front, right in the back, and then run once again. Yes. Each one a winner for life, and how wonderful that is. All right, so let's start our morning with our beautiful book Ikigai, and let's see what magic is going to come our way. So last time when we finished, we talked about the blue zones. These are the 5 zones across the world, and we will understand about them. What is it that makes them, especially why are they called blue zones, and what is the beautiful quality about them? Can I have a reader for the morning? Ritesh, you can have the book in front of all of us. Meanwhile, you can read. Akshay, if you don't have baby around you, do you want to read? If yes, please raise your hand so I can unmute you. So the 5 blue zones are wonderful. Okinawa holds first place amongst the world's blue zones. In Okinawa, women in particular live longer and have fewer diseases than anywhere else in the world. The 5 regions identified and analyzed by Dan Buettner in this book, The Blue Zones, are. So anyone else can volunteer. Let me introduce the chapter meanwhile. 1. Okinawa, Japan, especially the northern part of the island. The locals eat a diet rich in vegetables and tofu, typically served on small plates. In addition to their philosophy of Ikigai, the Moai, or close-knit groups of friends, in page 15 we'll read about them, play an important role in their longevity. Number 2 is Sardinia in Italy, specifically the provinces of Nuoro and Ogliastra. Locals on the island consume plenty of vegetables and 1 or 2 glasses of wine per day. As in Okinawa, the cohesive nature of this community is another factor directly related to longevity. So just see in both the places, a close knit group of friends or a cohesive nature of community is a very beautiful factor. So atmosphere, your friend circle around you, or the way you live has to be also in coherence. Number three, Loma Linda, California. Researchers studied a group of Seventh day Adventists who are among the longest living people in the US. Number four, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. Locals remain remarkably active after 90. Many of the region's older residents have no problem getting up at 5:30 in the morning to work in the fields. Number five, Ikaria in Greece. One of the very three, one of every three inhabitants of this island near the coast of Turkey is over 90 years old, compared to less than 1% of the population of the US, a fact that has earned it the nickname the island of long life. The local secret seems to be a lifestyle that dates back to 500 BC. So if you see, going back to your lifestyle, making it organic, making it taking it to age old is really making a difference. So this is where Luke Cotino comes in the picture. He's been talking to all of us for years about circadian rhythm, or also very popularly known as intermittent fasting. Now, this is something our early man did. They used to hunt, eat once in a few days, or like later when they became a man, they would only eat before sunset because then there was no electricity. So obviously it was dark. They would sleep early. They would wake up early. They behaved along the sun. So people who go back in the old system are definitely living a longer life. So these are just some cues for all of us to start thinking about how we'd like our lives to be. In the following chapters, we will examine several factors that seem to be the keys to longevity and are found across the blue zones, paying special attention to Okinawa and its so-called village of longevity. First, however, it is worth pointing out that three of these regions are islands where resources can be scarce and communities have to help one another. For many, helping others might be ikigai strong enough to keep them alive. According to the scientists who've studied the blue zones, no, sir, you've gone back. Yeah. The keys to longevity are diet, exercise, finding a purpose in life, and ikigai, and forming strong social ties, that is, having a broad circle of friends and good family relationships. Members of these communities manage their time well in order to reduce stress, consume little meat or processed foods, and drink alcohol in moderation. They don't do strenuous exercise, but they do move every day. Taking walks and working in the vegetable gardens, people in the blue zones would rather walk than drive. Gardening, which involves really low intensity movement, is a practice almost all of them have in common. So if you see few things, they are going back to the old age of lifestyle. So early sleeping, early, going back to the 500 BC, by sleeping early, waking up early, then having very strong bonds with society, then not taking stress at all. Why? Because they're not even having animal fat. They're only having, organic food. They're not having processed food. They're not having alcohol, and they are active, which doesn't mean that they're doing lots of exercises, but they're active throughout the day. So coming back to this, if all, and of course gardening, which is like going back to Mother Nature. All of this, when it's intertwined, it's very important that things obviously will work very well. The 80% secret. Now, what is this 80% secret? All of us have heard about it. Today, let's understand also. One of the most common sayings in Japan is hara hachibu, which is repeated before or after eating and means something like fill your belly to 80%. Ancient wisdom advises against eating until we are full. This is why Okinawans stop eating when they feel their stomachs reach 80% of their capacity, rather than overeating and wearing down their bodies with long digestive processes that accelerate cellular oxidation. So, what do you mean by this? Very simply, if our stomach has too much of food, there's no place for it's like, take a beaker of water, or let's take like a bottle of water. If it's full and you're moving it, it can't move, right? There's no place to move. But if it's 80%, you'll feel the movement of water. Similarly, our stomach, if the intestines are full of food, where will there be place to digest? You need to have some place for it to move, the food to move. Now, if it's full, your body is using its full cellular energy in trying to circulate the food, assimilate the food, digest the food. But if there is capacity, it's going to take much less energy. Also, The hours have to be defined, minimum 3.5 hours before you pop something in your mouth. And if possible, first half of the day to be just raw food or fruits. So if we're doing this, we are allowing our body to firstly function very well. We're giving it more cellular energy, and longevity is already, we are trying to invest in our body. Of course, there is no way to know objectively if your stomach is 80% full in capacity. The lesson to learn from this saying is that we should stop eating when we are starting to feel full. The extra side dish, the snack we eat when we know in our hearts we don't really need it, the apple pie after lunch, or all these gives us pleasure in the short term, but not having them will make us happier in the long term. The way food is served is also important. By presenting their meals on very small, tiny plates, the Japanese tend to eat less. A typical meal in a restaurant in Japan is served in 5 plates on a tray, four of them so small and the main dish slightly bigger. Having 5 plates in front of you makes it seem like you're having a lot of food to eat. But what happens most of the time is that you end up feeling slightly hungry. This is one of the reasons why Westerners in Japan typically lose weight and stay trim. Recent studies by nutritionists reveal that Okinawans consume a daily average of 1800 calories to max 1900, compared to 2200 or 3300 in the US, and have a body mass index between 18 and 22, compared to 26 or 27 in the US. The Okinawan diet is rich in tofu, sweet potatoes, fish 3 times per week, vegetables roughly 11 ounces per day. In the chapter dedicated to nutrition, we will see which healthy antioxidant rich foods are included in this 80%. So it's just for us to analyze where are we going, what is it to learn from the Japanese? Can we intertwine something in our lifestyle? If yes, it's wonderful. If no, of course, you're just reading it like a book. So just if you're taking something from them, very nice. If you aren't, very nice. Each to their own. Let's understand this culture of Moais. What is a Moai? Connected for life is the meaning of this name. It is customary in Okinawa to form close bonds within local communities. A Moai is an informal group of people with common interests who look out for one another. For many, serving the community becomes part of the ikigai. The Moai has its origin in hard times, when farmers would get together to share best practices and help one another cope with meager harvests. Members of Moai make a set monthly contribution to the group. This payment allows them to participate in meetings, dinners, games of Go, and shogi, Japanese chess, or whatever hobby they have in common. The funds collected by the group are used for activities, but if there is money left over, one member, decided on a rotating basis, receives a set amount from the surplus. In this way, being part of a Moai helps maintain emotional and financial stability. If a member of a Moai is in financial trouble, he or she can get an advance from the group's savings, while the details of each Moai's accounting practices vary according to the group and its economic means. The feeling of belonging and support gives the individual a sense of security and helps release increased life expectancy. So it's very important to know that when you are looked after emotionally because of your friends, you're having great games, you're having good diet, you're just harvesting, you're just gardening, everything is perfectly taken care of. But the financial aspect, why are they stress free? Because they know their Muay has their back. They pool in money and they finance each other when in need. It's like just borrowing. It's not like apne loan. It's not like you've given them. You've not made them depend upon you. You're giving them a loan so they know they can go back to their Muay. And the Muay looks after each other very strongly by seeing that are you losing money or not. So when you're physically taken care of, emotionally taken care of, mentally taken care of, why would you really have stress? So, following this brief introduction to the topics covered in this book, we look at a few causes of premature aging in modern life and then explore different factors related to Ikigai. Tomorrow, we'll start this chapter number 2 on anti aging secrets, little things that add up to a long and happy life. So, let's understand that all of us are what we are. So, what surroundings have you created? Now, you can't say that, I am grown up in this life and this is what is happening. Ritesh sir, you can obviously I'm waiting for you to change the book to subconscious mind. So all of us are in this life creating our own set of circumstances. So if you say no, but my friend circle isn't like this, Or, they don't understand. They want to party till late. They want to wake up late. They want to drink and eat like dinner at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. It's time to have a shift. It's time to analyze what do you want to contribute in. Ultimately, when your frequency is so high up there, you will attract such friends. Like, the other day I was mentioning, our friends, we have partied hard. We have partied at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, came back from really late. But now in the five couples, at least four of us are in sync and we want to eat early, retire early, and have a good time. It's not about waking up late, partying till late, joining dinners at 9 o'clock. That culture is slowly shifting. So your friend circle starts getting aligned also gradually. Yes, it takes a time. It takes time to pull everyone together in the culture, but you can be the change. So rather than saying that things are not working your way, at least you can try to be the change. That's all. It's not tough. So attract frequency in your own way, the way you want it, and your friends will attract accordingly. And people do change. A lot of people change. So I like a volunteer. I still haven't had a volunteer. I don't know what's the thing about reading. I don't know why people are so reluctant about reading. And the same two, three, four faces come up, which is great. But why don't others read up? Ritu Agarwal, Parul Gupta. Why don't people just volunteer? Is there any hitch, Seema? I never see people raising their hand. Seema, today it's your turn. So it's just not fair that I have to actually ask like little children, like a teacher, okay, come on, you got to read. It's just funny. Okay, so we were on this page. We had to read about master technique for overcoming any fear. So we are on the page number 233, and let's read it, please. Yes, Seema, over to you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. The following is process and technique for overcoming fear, which I teach from the platform. It works like a charm. Try it. Suppose you are afraid of the water, a mountain, an interview, an audition, or you fear closed places. If you are afraid of swimming, begin now to sit still for 5 or 10 minutes, 3 or 4 times a day, and imagine you are swimming. Actually, you are swimming in your mind. It is a subjective experience. Mentally, you have projected yourself into the water. You feel the chill of the water and the movement of your arms and legs. It is all real, vivid, and a joyous activity of the mind. It is not idle daydreaming, for you know that what you are experiencing in your imagination will be developed in your subconscious mind. Then you will be compelled to express the image and likeness of the picture you impressed on your deeper mind. This is the law of the subconscious. You could apply the same technique if you are afraid of mountains or high places. Imagine you are climbing the mountain. Feel the reality of it all. Enjoy the scenery, knowing that as you continue to do this mentally, you will do physically with ease and comfort.
Thank you. So, Asmeet, an answer to your question is vibrate at a high frequency, start behaving the way you like to behave. For example, I began this journey last March 2020 of sleeping early, waking up early. I was waking up at 3:30, not knowing about the Brahma Muhurat science at all. And obviously, I would sleep also early. Yes, my husband Prashant himself used to sleep by 10:30, 11 or whatever. They played family games, but I said, I need to sleep. So I used to sleep early, have my dinners fairly early, 6 o'clock. Ultimately, what happened? I started manifesting, I started attracting, my vibes went, now Prashant is a part of this journey. Ever since he's joined, we both sleep about 9, 9:15, 9:30. The lights are out and done. We wake up in the morning at about 4-ish. So this is how you change, right? When you're vibrating at a higher frequency, things around you get aligned. My friends, I never thought they'd all change. But everyone's very, last time we met for early dinner, had early dinner. There were no starters, there were no drinks on a weekday. We just caught up, had so much fun, bubbled with excitement, closed a dinner early, came back to bed early, and slept in time. This is how you attract family and friends by vibrating at a higher frequency. Things automatically align. When you start saying, okay, my people understand me and we are on the same frequency, all of us want the same goals. And people just shift. And anyways, Asmeet, good news is all of us are now working towards a shift. 2029, the Satyug starts, right? That's what 2021, we're already in. A mere 8 years, everyone will start shifting on a higher dimension. There'll be higher energy levels. You'll shift from, the gross things to the subtle things in life. So people are going to look at the high quality of life. I'm very excited to know that Showing off is going to be a thing about the past. Things that it's going to be more about quality inside. So that's what is something we're all working towards. And believe me, the shift has already begun. So just embrace it. All of you are tagged here today in this morning and that you logged in here in the morning is a reason because you have also experienced wanting to shift. And that's why you're reading all these books. Now, also the subconscious mind. We keep reading about this subconsciously, keep feeding into your mind again and again that my friends and family resonate with my vibes and we understand each other beautifully and we enjoy evolve in life. You say that again and again and again, it'll start happening. So like I don't like having dinners too often in my house because I'm like, just it's just too hot and it's just like it just spoils the entire thing. Too much of heavy food is made. But Prashant loves to host. So I think if he starts manifesting, the staff will serve automatically. I don't have to be eating that or cooking that, right? So all of us can have whatever we want. It's all about our manifestation. What are we vibrating at? Let's read the next story. He blessed the elevator.
I knew an executive of a large corporation who was terrified to ride in an elevator. He would walk up 5 flights of stairs to his office every morning. He said that he began to bless the elevator every night and several times a day. He finally overcame his fear. This was how he blessed the elevator. The elevator in our building is a wonderful idea. It came out of the universal mind. It is a boon and a blessing to all our employees. It gives wonderful service. It operates in divine order. I write it in a peace and joy. I remain silent now while the currents of life, love, and understanding flow through the patterns of my thought. In my imagination, I am now in the elevator and I step out into my office. The elevator is full of our employees. I talk to them and they are friendly, joyous, and free. It is a wonderful experience of freedom, faith, and confidence. I gave thanks. He continued this prayer for about 10 days, and on the 11th day, he walked into the elevator with other members of the organization and felt completely free.
So we do have some kind of shortcomings, some kind of fears. But if we start manifesting, we start affirming, we start visualizing, it all becomes so easy to conquer any kind of fear. So very important to see what are you fearsome about and what are the affirmations can you create and how can you visualize it and you give it time. So you plan. That's why we heard about heterosuggestions. That's why autoimmune suggestions. We recorded them and sent them. They're damn short. They're 5 minute long meditations only. It's just about the conditioning of the mind, breathing thrice, closing your eyes, and it doesn't take too long. But what it takes is your effort. So why do I say always record it and then do it? Because at least you have something to fall back on. A mind is a clutter of activity. So much is happening here. So if you have something to go back to, at least you know कि अपने आप वो my voice is guiding me and I'm just doing it. So it's very important to create your recordings because then you can go back to them at any time. Otherwise, first thing in the morning you're waking up, अच्छा मैं ये भूल गया, अच्छा मुझे ये याद रखना है. It's tough to remember. But if you've recorded something, you will never forget it, right? You're going absolutely as per the instructions. Let's read another story about normal and abnormal fear. So this is not a story, actually just a category. So yes, let's read about it.
Man is born only with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of noise. These are a sort of alarm system given you by nature as a means of self-preservation. Normal fear is good. You hear an automobile coming down the road and you step aside to survive. The momentary fear of being run over is overcome by your action. All other fears were given to you by parents, relatives, teachers, and all those who influenced your early years.
So let's understand what is abnormal fear and let's understand what is the answer to it. So let's start with abnormal fear.
Abnormal fear takes place when man lets his imagination run riot. I knew a woman who was invited to go on a trip around the world by plane. She began to cut out of the newspapers all reports of aeroplane catastrophes. She pictured herself going down in the ocean, being drawn, etc. This is abnormal fear. Had she proceeded in this, she would undoubtedly have attracted what she feared most. Another example of abnormal fear is that of businessman in New York, who was very prosperous and successful. He had his own private mental motion picture of which he was the director. He would run this mental movie of failure, bankruptcy, empty shells, and no bank balance until they sank into a deep depression. He refused to stop this morbid imagery and kept reminding his wife that this can't last. There will be a recession. I feel sure we will go bankrupt, etc. His wife told me that he finally did go into bankruptcy and all the things he imagined and feared came to pass. The things he feared did not exist, but he brought them to pass by constantly fearing, believing, and expecting financial disaster. Job said, "The thing I feared has come upon me." There are people who are afraid that something terrible will happen to their children and that some dead catastrophe will befall them when they read about an epidemic or rare disease. They live in fear that they will catch it, and some imagine they have the disease already. All this is abnormal fear.
So it's all about what are we radiating at? What frequency are you in? I don't know how many of you here in the families, COVID talk was like a huge thing. Okay, how many cases today? How many cases in the world? How many in our state? And then finally, did COVID come to your house? Did you attract COVID? It's just about what are you like. If people ask me what's happening in the news bit about COVID, I have zero idea. Just because I haven't just not exposed myself to it. So if you have fear and if you're harping on it by taking up more news on it, you're only expanding it. So please don't expand it. If you wish to have prosperity, talk about things, maybe read something interesting about somebody who's prospering, somebody who's got a new deal, somebody who's just made it new and big. Read about things that motivate you rather than reading about things which are detrimental to your journey. So catastrophes will happen, morbid things will happen. If you are looking for that, if that is what you're expanding, they will happen. So please vibrate at a high frequency. Start saying only the good affirmations. Look, all of us are always saying affirmations. Everything we say is probably an affirmation. Why? Because that's what is happening. अब वो negative पे आप बोल रहे हो कि positive बोल रहे हो, you are affirming, you're saying something, right? You're saying with conviction. So that's coming true. So please be careful of your golden words, what you're speaking about, and who are you speaking about, whether yourself or others, because they tend to ring true. Let loose, firstly, when you're too holding on to somebody with a lot of tight, do's and don'ts, they anyways go very weird and they go all to everywhere. So just be a little comfortable with yourself, let yourself loose. Now, what is the answer to abnormal fear? Of course, we all have fears. You can't just go away with them. So, what do we do? Again, let's understand the science.
Move mentally to the opposite. This to stay at the extreme of fear is stagnation plus mental and physical deterioration. When fear arises, there immediately comes with it a desire for something opposite to the thing feared. Place your attention on the thing immediately desired. Get absorbed and engrossed in your desire, knowing that the subjective always overturns the objective. The attitude will give you confidence and lift your spirits. The infinite power of your subconscious mind is moving on your behalf and it cannot fail. Therefore, peace and assurance are yours.
So, whenever we have fear, there's also a thing coming in. ऐसा हो जाता तो कितना अच्छा होता. So change the page, please. So that time is a time when we have to examine what are we thinking of, and whenever that positive thought comes, ऐसा हो जाता तो अच्छा होता. Click on it, expand on it, and start working on that rather than going in the negative direction. Now, how do you do that? Let's examine your fears.
The president of a large organization told me that when he was a salesman, he used to walk around the block 5 or 6 times before he called on a customer. The sales manager came along one day and said to him, "Don't be afraid of the boogeyman behind the door. There is no boogeyman, it is a false belief." The manager told him that whenever he looked at his own fears, he stared them in the face and stood up to them, looking them straight in the eye. Then they faded and shrank into insignificance.
So, very important, you have to address the fear to tackle it. There's no way to avoid something. You have to face the circumstances. and nail them and then move forward. Another story about he landed in the jungle.
A champion told me of his experiences in the Second World War. He had to parachute from a damaged plane and land in the jungle. He said he was frightened, but he knew there were two kinds of fear, normal and abnormal, which we have previously pointed out. He decided to do something about the fear immediately. He began to talk to himself, saying, John, you can't surrender to your fear. Your fear is a desire for safety and security and a way out. He began to calm. Infinite intelligence, which guidance the planets in their courses, is now leading and guiding me out of this jungle. He kept saying this out loud to himself for 10 minutes or more. Then he added, something began to stir inside me. A mood of confidence began to seize me, and I began to walk. After a few days, a miraculously came out of the jungle and he picked up by a rescue plane. He changed mental attitude, saved him. His confidence and trust in the subjective wisdom and power within him was the solution to his problem. He said, had I begun to bemoan my fate and indulged my fears, I would have succumbed to the monster fear and probably would have died of fear and starvation.
Very important to keep telling ourselves that infinite intelligence is always guiding me. It's always there. So, of course, he's talked about planets in the core, he's talked about light in the jungle, he's talked about leading in the jungle. But you can just, if you just say a small little thing of infinite intelligence, it's the biggest thing to say. If you say infinite intelligence guides me, how wonderful. If you say divine guidance is there, how wonderful. If you say I'm surrounded by divine love, how wonderful. They are enough in life. If you're adding these kind of words in your jargon, in your spoken language, you are definitely becoming better. Let's hear a story about how he dismissed himself.
The manager of an organization told me that for 3 years he feared he would lose his position. He was always imagining failure. The thing he feared did not exist, save as a morbid, anxious thought in his own mind. His vivid imagination dramatized the loss of his job until he became nervous and neurotic. Finally, he was asked to resign. Actually, he dismissed himself. His constant negative imaginary and fear suggestions to his subconscious mind caused the latter to respond and react accordingly. It caused him to make mistakes and foolish decisions, which resulted in his failure as a general manager. His dismissal would never have happened if he had immediately moved to the opposite in his mind.
So it's very, very important to keep telling ourselves of what we really want, how you want to move on in life, how you want to have positive imagery, how you want to have suggestions. It's all up to you. If you're making good decision or you're making mistakes or making good, viable decisions, it's all up to you. So if you're doing something, please just follow it. Follow your gut instinct, follow your divine order, and things will happen. Another story about they plotted against him. But by Amrita does not log in the sessions, you'll have to call her yourself. Yes, please. Let's move on.
During a recent world lecture tour, I had a 2-hour conversation with a prominent government official. He had a deep sense of inner peace and serenity. He said that all the abuse he receives politically from newspapers and the opposition party never disturbed him. His practice is to sit still for 15 minutes in the morning and realize that in the center of himself is a deep, still ocean of peace. Meditating in this way, he generates tremendous power which overcomes all manner of difficulties and fears. Sometime previously, a colleague called him at midnight and told him a group of people were plotting against him. This is what he said to his colleague: I'm going to sleep now in perfect peace. You can discuss it with me at 10 a.m. tomorrow. He said to me, I know that no negative thought can ever manifest except I emotionalize the thought and accept it mentally. I refuse to entertain their suggestion of fear. Therefore, no harm can come to me. Notice how calm he was, how cool, how peaceful. He did not start getting excited, tearing his hair, or wringing his hands. At his center, he found the still water and inner peace, and there was a great calm.
So very important when people try and dissuade you, when people try and put you off track. But if you are composed and calm, nothing can shake you because then that's what you're radiating at. Very important for all of us to realize that it's extremely important to stay calm, balanced, centered, and aligned. So please start understanding this. And the minute you have a problem, you are in a situation, take a deep breath, just close your eyes for 2 minutes, take 3 deep breaths thereafter, and then just say, I can handle it. And it's going to go absolutely wonderful because I know I can. Immediately give yourself the confidence, and only you can do that. Nobody's going to come out and do that. Get that very, very clear. The last story of the morning, deliver yourself from all your fears.
Use the perfect formula for casting out fear. I sought the Lord, and he heard me and
He heard,
delivered me.
I
Sorry,
sought the Lord and he heard me and
he heard me.
delivered me from all my fears, says Psalm 34:4. Let me take over from here. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Seema. I'll just ask you invite you to read the magic weight loss pill in about 10 minutes. The Lord is an ancient word meaning law, the power of your subconscious mind. Learn the wonders of your subconscious and how it works and functions. Master the techniques given to you in this chapter. Put them into practice now, today. Your subconscious will respond and you will be free of all fears. I sought the Lord and he heard me and delivered me from all my fears. The minute you seek for the Lord, the minute you seek for the inner guidance, the higher intelligence, your higher self, and you just put everything in his or her, hands and just say, this is, I really believe that you will be guiding me. And you're free from your fears that very minute. So Ankita already has validated that it really works like magic. So yes, it really works if you're tackling your fears and just center, align yourself and just say everything will happen great. If you have that firm conviction, your life is going to get magical. Today, let's read about the summary and let's understand what we have gathered from this beautiful chapter in yesterday's reading and today. Step this way to freedom from fear. First thing, do the thing you're afraid to do, and the death of fear is certain. Say to yourself and mean it, I am going to master this fear, and you will. So, fears will come, but the minute you address the fear and you say, I'm going to master it, it's going to just go away. Number two, fear is a negative thought in your mind. Supplant it with a constructive thought. Fear has killed millions. Confidence is greater than fear. Nothing is more powerful than faith in God and the good. So again, very important that fear has taken, over people's lives and things have gone for a sixer. So if you're confident and if you're a believer in the supreme power, then everything is good. Number three, fear is man's greatest enemy. It is behind failures, sickness, and bad human relationships. Love casts out fear. Love is an emotional attachment to the good things of life. Fall in love with honesty, integrity, justice, goodwill, and success. Live in the joyous expectancy of the best, and invariably the best will come to you. So, you know what? Now, again, somebody will say, but honest record, you can't earn money. Yes, you can't earn $100 if you're expecting, you'll probably earn 70. But that honest money was going to come back to you in a beautiful law of life. But if you're selling something by, underplaying the quality, you have cheated. And ultimately, you're cheating yourself because you're taking this karmic count in the next life. And even this life, you're not going to get where you really have to be. So, people who are doing this, watch out. Integrity is very important. Justice is very important. So these are the virtues that we all know about them. So once we are in this world, it's everything is wonderful. Number four, counteract the fear suggestions with the opposite, such as I sing beautifully, I am poised, serene, and calm. It will pay fabulous dividends. So if you are, say, aggressive, you start saying, I am calm, I'm peaceful, I understand very easily. Say your kind of suggestions, whatever you want, and ultimately these will get imposed in your subconscious mind and they will give you fabulous results. Number five, fear is behind amnesia at oral and written examination time. You can overcome this by affirming frequently, I have perfect memory for everything I need to know. Or you can imagine a friend congratulating you on your brilliant success on the examination. Persevere and you will win. So if you have some fear about something, again, affirm, believe in it, and tell yourself, yes, I can do it. Just do whatever you want and just go for it. Number six, if you are afraid to cross water, swim. In your imagination, swim freely, joyously. Project yourself into the water mentally. Feel the chill and thrill of swimming across the pool. Make it vivid. As you do this subjectively, you will be compelled to go into the water and conquer it. This is the law of your mind. So very important to understand. And we are born swimmers. When we are, in our mother's wombs, we're swimming in all of that. My younger daughter was born in water. So the doctor had put her for a bath the day we were getting discharged from the hospital. And in this little tub, she was already swimming, and I was shocked to see a 2-day-old child, 1-day-old child swimming. That's our instinct. So if people have a fear of swimming, if you go in the water and if you have a fear of drowning, you will drown. But if you say, no, I can conquer it, I can swim, automatically you wouldn't even need somebody to teach you, you're able to swim very naturally. So these are how you're conditioned. And so you're born with magnificence, just that you have forgotten it. So time to come back to that and start using these principles. Number 7, if you're afraid of closed places such as elevators, lecture halls, etc., mentally ride in an elevator, blessing all its parts and functions. You will be amazed how quickly the fear will be dissipated. And we've heard a story for this also in detail. Number 8, you were born with only 2 fears, the fear of falling and the fear of noise. All your fears are acquired. Get rid of them. So, you have a fear, ye nahi hua to kya hoga, aisa nahi hua to waisa hoga. So start elaborating on the positive side, and that's all that you want. Work on your affirmations, creatively visualize what you want, and only that should unfold. Number 9, normal fear is good. Abnormal fear is very bad and destructive. To constantly indulge in fear thoughts results in abnormal fear, obsessions, and complexes. To fear something persistently causes a sense of panic and terror. So normal fear is fine, address it, but understand that you and me are here for a purpose and we can conquer it any which ways. Number 10, you can overcome abnormal fear when you know the power of your subconscious mind can change conditions and bring it to pass the cherished desires of your heart. Give your immediate attention and devotion to your desire, which is the opposite of your fear. This is the love that casts out fear. So, again, point number 10, what you want is what you believe, and what you believe is what you manifest. What you manifest is what you visualize. And with that, your subconscious mind is powered, and that comes to pass because that's what it is all about. That's what law of attraction is all about. Number 11, if you're afraid of failure, give attention to success. If you're afraid of sickness, dwell on your perfect health. If you're afraid of an accident, dwell on the guidance and protection of God. If you're afraid of death, dwell on eternal life. God is life, and that is your life now. So, being in the journey of having divine guidance, of only expanding what you want, will get you everywhere. So, now, at least in subconscious mind, this journey with Dr. Murphy, all of us have understood that it's all in the mind, right? Whatever you want, you can create. So at least negative अगर आता है life में, हमें उसको नहीं expand करना. We have to only think about the positive. Work on your positive, manifest creatively, visualize. Shakti Evans taught us visualization. Dr. Murphy taught us thinking. Combine the two sciences together and create the life that you desire. Number 12, the great law of substitution is the answer to fear. Whatever you fear has its solutions in the form of your desire. If you're sick, you desire health. If you are in the prison of fear, you desire freedom. Expect the good. Mentally concentrate on the good and know that your subconscious mind answers you always. It never fails. So, a lot of people have trust issues. Start saying, I know I trust life. The minute you say, I trust life, people in your life, you'll start trusting them. Then there'll be no mistrust. This person will cheat me. Not everyone's good. Okay, what if this happens? These are all your fears. So start talking in affirmation language, start conditioning yourself, and start moving on. Number 13, the fears you fear do not really exist except as thoughts in your mind. Thoughts are creative. This is why Job said, the thing I feared has come upon me. Think good and good follows. So I hope that's very clear. This is how life is. Number 14, look at your fears. Hold them up in the light of reason. Learn to laugh at your fears. That is the best medicine. So whenever you have a fear, just Just break it apart. Okay, why do I fear? Okay, this. And start reasoning. Okay, ये नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा maximum? फिर नहीं होगा, doesn't matter. अच्छा ये हुआ तो ये होगा. Start analyzing your fears. Break them up or laugh at them. If you can, then you will immediately be able to take a step forward and manifest and do what you want. Number 15 and the last for the day. Nothing can disturb you but your own thought. Suggestions, statements, or threats of other persons have no power. The power is within you. And when your thoughts are focused on what which is good, sorry, the power is within you. And when your thoughts are focused on that which is good, then God's power is with your thoughts of good. There's only one creative power, and it moves as harmony. There are no divisions of quarrels in it. Its source is love. This is why God's power is with your thoughts of good. So let's only expand on goodness. Let's stop using the language that, people cheat me or I don't get the right vendors, quality nahi milti hai. Whatever you're going through, whether you're a businessman, whether you're a homemaker, whether you're an entrepreneur, anything that you are, start talking affirmation about your work, about your home front, about everywhere. I agree that things go wrong in sometimes, many things go wrong, but then start looking at the brighter side, and life is really going to be brightening up and shining back at you. So more power to everyone. Tomorrow we'll again read about a beautiful chapter, How to Stay Young in Spirit Forever. And this is something going to be an interlap between Ikigai also, where we are also talking about being young. Tomorrow probably is a day for all of us to understand, we need to get younger in heart, in person, and everywhere. So the last book for this morning is beautiful. It's a short paragraph, not too much to be read today. But yesterday we concluded our day about diabetes. Before that, we talked about thyroid. Today we talk about exercising, how exercising can help us get free of diabetes or what is stress and a lot of things attached. So yes, now you can take over again, Seema. Page
From
number
where
page number 64, exercise and diabetes, the last paragraph.
I know so many diabetics who do not even walk for 20 minutes a day. This is terrible for the body because that extra glucose that gets stored in your blood needs to be broken down into energy. And that can't happen if you sit for 8 hours a day. That can happen only if you exercise and move. Incorporate walking for 30 to 45 minutes on 6 out of 7 days, and your blood sugar levels will show an improvement.
So for this, it's very important, of course, have your walks very, very important. But even in the day, being sitting at one point or lying down, every half hour, 45 minutes, just get up and walk a bit of steps in your house or in your office or wherever you are. Just take a look around, maybe the accounts department, maybe your kitchen, maybe wherever you are, depending on that, just start moving a bit. To be active throughout is important. Even as I said once before, even the smartwatches, they say 250 steps are important in every hour minimum. So at least that's the least we can do. So please tune your watches accordingly. So I would say half an hour is too much. Every 45 minutes, walk about 250 steps. See on a stepper, count them up and walk however you want. Start and maybe if you remember the magic book, Rhonda Byrne specifically said to take the magic walk of 100 steps, of 100 thank yous. So maybe those 250 thank yous is a good idea. Every 45 minutes, imagine the quality of your life that will be. If you're saying thank you so many times, can things ever go wrong in your life? No, never. So start doing that. A time with yourself, mindful, heartful walk or whatever, grateful walk, whatever you want. Stress. Let's talk about stress.
When your body is stressed, it produces cortisol. As it is a stress hormone, your body will ready you for a fight or fight response, which needs energy. Therefore, your body will try to keep as much glucose in the blood as possible so that it can break it down rapidly, because it takes more time to break down glucose stored in muscles or fat. So an increase in cortisol cortisol
Yes.
sends a signal to insulin to decrease so that your blood sugar stays high. Chronic stress means you chronically have lower levels of insulin and higher levels of blood sugar. So meditate, do pranayama, or take on a hobby that calms you. No excuses. I know all of us have stress, but if you are looking to reverse the dis-ease, you have to make that extra effort. Take that personal responsibility and reduce it every way you can.
So, firstly, for this, please schedule your manifestation or your meditations on a fixed time. Every day, let your alarm ring, let your mobile remind you it's time to do your meditation. That way, you will never go off it. So, with me, every day, 4 p.m., the Kriya meditation alarm goes. So, I just know wherever, if I'm in the car, I'm doing Kriya, if I'm at home, I'm doing my Kriya. I know that's my time. So otherwise, in the morning, whatever works for you. Remember, meditation is very, very important. Deep breathing is very important. Pranayama is like deep breathing, or simply being mindful of your breathing. So start these things because they will definitely calm you. And in the longer run, you will realize your stress levels have automatically reduced because you're investing in meditation. And meditation is actually beautiful because it's going to increase your longevity in your living as well, your quality of life, your stress level, even your food. You'll become more mindful and you'll be eating so much more better. So start investing in yourself because stress is nothing. We all know that it's human acquired, right? Now we're coming from the world of Dr. Joseph Murphy, where we've been told that anything that you fear causes you stress. So what's there's anything to fear? We all know that the fear is because of lack of something. So whatever you want the results, think about them, visualize them, and just remove the fear, remove the stress. So yes, somatostatin.
When to eat the right food is just as important as what to eat. You must remember the following points we will cover about the hormone somatostatin every time you feel like eating something that has refined sugar after a workout. What is that word? Somatostatin.
Statin. That's right.
It is a hormone that tells your pancreas to produce less insulin. Somatostatin production increases due to stress or if you eat something that has refined sugar after going for a run, playing, a sport, or exercising.
Being a
Refined
stress.
sport or exercising. Refined sugar immediately signals your body to increase somatostatin in your stomach, brain, thyroid, and pancreas, thus inhibiting insulin production. So, if you want to eat sweet and junk food, never do so immediately after a workout. You may feel as if you have earned that cupcake you really want. Yes, you have, but do not consume refined sugar for at least 2 hours after physical activity.
That's something for all of us to remember. If you're doing some hard, strenuous workout, have you ever seen these cafes in these gyms? They're thriving. People have worked out and then they're going and binge eating. So please be careful. 2 hours, a very, very important period for you not to be eating anything junk or sweet. You have earned it, yes. You have worked out the calories, yes. But that time you can't. So please be careful. What's nice about Dr. Lucatino is that he tells us these sciences. So at least you have a logical explanation. People have been telling you this, but when the logic is not there, you don't want to follow it. You're like, "Oh, "Okay, bola hoga, how does it matter?" But now that you know the reason, at least you're going to be watchful and careful. Sleep. So let's talk about sleep.
If you are sleeping 5 to 6 hours, you are likely to have a hormonal imbalance because hormones take about 6.5 to 8 hours to balance. Hormonal imbalance affects insulin, thyroxine, etc. That's why diabetes patients usually also have heart problems and thyroid and kidney issues. This can spiral into a vicious trap of medicines wherein the dosage keeps on increasing.
So yes, sleep is very, very important. And there must have been a reason why people are talking about sleep, right? So if you're 5, 6 hours, and also with sleep, if you wake up in the morning fresh and you really want to conquer the day beautifully, like, wow, what a day, that means you're fresh. But if your eyes are still droopy, that means you need more sleep. So please watch out for timings. 6.5 hours is what the minimum say for us to sleep. So yeah, and the body actually automatically tells you. So if you sleep for 5, 6 hours sometimes, automatically your body will say, no, I need more sleep. It happened with me last year. I was sleeping like 5 or 6 hours max. And I was functioning perfectly fine for a couple of months. And then my body said, no, you need to sleep more. Then I changed my entire schedule. So of course it works. Your body speaks to you, start listening to it. Eating the wrong stuff occasionally. So how does it make a difference? Let's understand about this.
I know diabetic people all around the world who started losing weight when they followed these guidelines. Just to be clear, I did not track the number of on the scale. but rather reduction in body fat. You lose inches when you lose fat. A lower number on the scale could be a result of losing water weight, lean mass, or bone density, or it could also signal the onset of a disease. It all comes down to eating the right food. However, there will be times you will want to have the wrong stuff as well. For example, if you are diabetic and want to eat an ice cream once in a while, you can do so in a way that will limit the harmful effect. Make sure to have a sprinkle of nuts with your ice cream or drink a glass of lemon water with Sri Lankan rolled cinnamon or something with fiber afterwards. This way, the bad food that creates irregular sugar levels will be balanced out by the good food. It all comes down to balance, and that is what is going to help you resolve diabetes.
So thank you so much, Seema, for taking up reading today. Thank you so much. So it's all right to binge once in a while, but as Luke says, just be mindful, careful. So if you're having so of course we've all read about what he says, and even having your lukewarm water with lime after meals about half an hour after is great for digestion. So just see what works for you and just start taking up life in beautiful sense. Tomorrow we'll read this chapter, Ritesh sir. Adequate size is all about tomorrow. Tomorrow is, I think, all about health. You know, Ikigai said so, Dr. Morphy said so, and even Luke is saying so. Tomorrow is all about health, it seems. Today, let's read the heart thought for the day, and let's have someone volunteer to read the heart thought. And Seemaji, thank you. It's the first time you read, and I'm so proud of you. So thank you for
Thank you so much.
Okay, today it's again about healing. Yes, so let's read about it. Can I have somebody to volunteer? Ritu Agrawal, Sakshi is there. Yes, Sakshi. You've got to unmute yourself. Healing partnerships. Every hand that touches me is a healing hand. We need not do more than just treat the symptom. We need to eliminate the cause of the disease. We need to go within ourselves where the process of illness began. So very important that if you have a disease, which means you're not easy with something in your body, you have to understand why it's manifested in your body. So there, that's when the reasons come up. And when you understand them, start affirming, start understanding them. Treat yourself at the grassroots level rather than just superfluously with having medicines. Now let's read the affirmation. And more over to you, Sakshi.
I am a precious being and loved by the universe. As I increase the love I have for myself, so too does the universe mirror this increased love over more abundantly. I know that the universal power is everywhere in every person, place, and thing. This loving, healing power flows through the medical profession and is in every hand that touches my body. I attract only highly evolved individuals on my healing pathway. My presence helps to bring out the spiritual healing qualities in each practitioner. Doctors and nurses are amazed at their abilities to work as a healing team with me.
Thank you so much. So the minute we say such kind of powerful affirmations, I know that the universal power is everywhere and in every person, every place and thing. And I am divinely guided, or I have the loving healing power and energy, or the evolved individuals who are helping me in my journey, then you can never go wrong. So just get this very clear that now we all are in a spiritual journey. So even if something goes wrong in our bodies, we can attract the right attention, the right healing, the right stream of mind. So thank you, Sakshi. Thank you once again. Okay, so I would like to have some reflections if anybody wishes to ask something or share something. Shubhra, yesterday you sent me an email. I couldn't read it. Do you want to share in person? You know, sending me emails is beautiful. I read all of your emails, but I couldn't read. I actually saw in the morning, I saw a longish email. So it'll be lovely if you can share with us.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to share a few magical moments which has happened with me in past 2 months. Earlier, I used to think that it's just a mere coincidence, but every time it cannot be a coincidence. So when we started this Artist Day, so firstly, just before the Artist Day, I had ordered few stickers for myself. Earlier, I didn't know that we have to go for such artist date, we have to buy something or which makes you feel happy. So luckily I received those stickers on that very day, the artist day, first date of artist day. So I thought, okay, it's just a coincidence. Then just before the second artist day, I just wanted to get pampered because it's been long. I told my husband, okay, I just want to go for the grooming. So he said, no, this time is not good. So just wait for a few months. But I don't know. Amazingly, he told me on Tuesday that, okay, you can go. Just be careful. And I had a gala time, 2-3 hours, getting pampered myself, all of my own. Then just before the third artist day, my friends had planned for a small one day weekend of get together in the nearest place, Vedic village. So I thought I won't be allowed because I've never been just for a girls' day out or especially for the night out.
Right.
So I just told my husband casually ki they are planning. I've told them I won't be able to make it. So he said, why can't you go? You should go. You should enjoy. So much amazing things are coming to my way, happening all the time.
How lovely. How lovely. So thank you for realizing that these are some things that you're inviting with your shift of consciousness. So now you're more aware and you're inviting them, whether it's unconsciously or consciously, but these are coming to you because that's what you're now vibrating at. So things around you change like this. So thank you so much, Abra. I'll read your mail also and I'll reply. So thank you so much. God bless. So okay, let's meditate. And if anybody has any, Alifia, you want to share about your artist date yesterday? We couldn't. Today we have a little time. If you want, you can raise your hand. People in person with what they're going through. So is Alifia here? I don't think she is here. Okay. All right. So let's just do a meditation. Uske baad, if somebody wants to share something, let's go for it. Any particular person has anything you want me to meditate on that? If there's something you want, any physical thing or any goals or anything, I'm happy to plan meditation accordingly. Okay. So let's close our eyes, our back straight, our feet firmly placed on the ground below. Let's wear a smile and our hands comfortably placed on our laps in whichever mudra we're comfortable. Take a deep breath in, inhale love. Feel the love pulsating in your body. Feel it. Ever so gently exhale, sharing your love with everyone around. Inhale light, brightening your inner world. And let's share our light as we exhale and dispel all the darkness around us. Let's inhale acceptance of who we are, where we are. We may be changing, we may not be. It's all fine. Let's accept it as it is. Let's exhale it, sharing our own acceptance with ourselves and the world. Life is magical. Life is wonderful. Life is all about healing. Let's heal ourselves from a deep state of abyss into a world of oneness, evolution, and changing for the positive. We are love. We are light. Wherever we turn, prosperity follows. We are radiating at a high frequency of joy, blessings, and bliss. And we connect with one another, finding our purpose in life. We're having a deeper dive in our being to understand our true essence. We meditate, and that makes us analyze ourselves a bit more. We reflect and we learn. We know our life is in divine order. All of us are divinely guided. We all are in a world of manifestation, but not all comes true because we're not able to meditate deeply or the fear comes in the way. Whenever a fear comes, let's address it deeply by again analyzing it and breaking it into further parts, addressing it bit by bit, tackling it, facing it, thereby warding off all fear and manifesting on what we really require in life. Now imagine something that you would like to manifest, whatever. Take a minute, think of something that you want to manifest. Imagine that it has already happened. How do you feel? Picture it as clearly as possible in your mind. If you can feel some sensations, great. If you can see something, great. If that brings a smile on your face, wonderful. Now, in your mind's eye, surround your fantasy with a pink bubble. Put your goal inside the bubble. Pink is the color associated with the heart. And if this color vibration surrounds whatever you visualize, it will bring to you only that which is in perfect affinity with your being. Now, let's let go of the pink bubble and imagine it floating off into the universe. How does the universe look? Multicolored, beautiful, lots of particles, magical. And amidst this gorgeous universe, your pink bubble with your goal is floating off. Right now, it's big. It's becoming smaller, flying further away, smaller, smaller, smaller. And now you can't even see it. This symbolizes that you are emotionally letting go of your goal by surrendering it to the universe. Because you believe in the divine guidance. You believe that this or something better will manifest for me. Now it is free to float around in the universe, attracting and gathering energy of the universe for your manifestations. There's nothing more that you have to do. Simply believe it, dream it, think of it as coming true, feel the feelings and let it float. Let it surrender. And then whatever has to unfold will come to you magically because divine will guide you. This is how you and I create and accept our manifestations. All of us are healing. All of us are wishing. And that's wonderful. That shows that we are ready to be on a path of oneness, a path of our wishes, giving power to our dreams. And yet, when we hold on to them too tight, they don't result in the way we want them to. So we simply let them go using a pink bubble. Let's now take ourselves into a world, our inner world, where we know We do have a higher self, or some people call it the guide. Whatever you call, it could be any name, any terminology. So let's invoke a higher self. All of us have tremendous wisdom and knowledge right within us. By now, we know about it. It's available to us and it comes to us through our intuitions, gut feelings, with a connection with the universal intelligence. It keeps unfolding, but we, the humans, often neglect it. We find it difficult to connect, to believe that that's a wisdom, that's our highest wisdom. Now, to get aligned, centered, let's invite this beautiful inner guide of ours, our higher self. It doesn't matter what name you're giving it. Some human name, maybe a counselor, maybe a spirit guide, maybe an imaginary friend, maybe some ascended masters, it doesn't matter. Just know that some inner guide is coming your way. It is a very wise part of you. You may not have met the wise part, that's okay. It can come to you in many forms. Maybe as a person who you can talk to, maybe as a symbol you can talk to, maybe as an image of something else that you can't relate to, that's okay. Maybe an animal, that's fine. Maybe some flame, that's fine. Maybe a flower, that's fine. Try and see the image. Go to your inner sanctuary, which is a place which you love. It could be a beach, it could be a mountaintop, it could be a garden, it could be any place that you love. Get comfortable in your atmosphere. Wherever you are, become comfortable. Now, you are standing, and in a far distance, you can see some image, some silhouette. Somebody is walking towards you. So why don't you start taking the path and walking towards the person? Start walking. As you walk a bit more, you see in the distance that form coming closer towards you. Can you see the clear, bright light around the form? If you can't, it's fine. If you can, it's wonderful. As this form approaches you, you begin to see whether this form is a man or a woman, an animal or an object, but it's got life in it. If it's a person, try and see how old is the person. How is the person dressed? The closer the form gets, the more details you can see of the face and appearance. If it's an object, of how it looks, the colors. Greet this being by bowing your head. Ask, what is your name? Dearest higher self, my guide, what is your name? Take whatever name comes to you instantly. Don't worry about it. Just take it. Become familiar with the higher self, your guide, and show it around your sanctuary. Explore it together. Look around. Show your higher self your good parts of an area that you may like in your sanctuary. Maybe flowers are blossoming, maybe the water is splashing, maybe the mountain has a nice tree top, whatever, wherever. Your guide may point out some things which you've never seen before. And you may enjoy just being in each other's presence. How do you feel? Just allow yourself to feel whatever. Ask your guide if there is anything he or she would like to say to you. Any advice does he have for you right now? Take a minute, just ask for the advice and hear what comes in your mind. If you wish, you can ask a specific question as well. You may get immediate answer, you may not. But don't be discouraged, it's okay. The answer will any which ways flow in some form, today or later. When the experience of being together feels complete for now, thank your guide and express your appreciation. Ask him, her, or it to come to meet you in your sanctuary again. Enjoy the feeling. Whatever experience you've had is individual. It could be good, bad, scary, or nothing. It's okay. We can share about it. But for now, you can bow down your heads in gratitude towards Mother Earth. Dear Mother Earth, today I try to meet my higher self, my inner guide, in a sanctuary that I love and I had created. I felt varied emotions, and I feel like sharing with you. Thank you for being a giver, for always understanding me, and for nurturing me with your love. I reciprocate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Let's turn our head towards the eye level, eyes still closed, and let's thank our wonderful life or lives that we've lived in the past. Thank each one with love. We are what we are today because self has chosen us as a vehicle to learn something. And today we're going in a spiritual, deeper world because that's what it's meant to be. We're going to live our lives the way we require by the divine guidance. Our paths may change, but we are open and receptive to whatever is coming our way because we know it's for our highest best. Thank you, dear life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's open our hands towards the universe, hug it, thank it. Dearest universe, dearest life, thank you for having my back. Dearest divinities, I can't thank you enough. I'm always blessed with such beautiful things around me, big or small. I'm a happy person, that's what I know. Dear angels, thank you for showing us the right path. Thank you for being around us. Dear divinities, thank you for telling the angels and the guardians to be around us, to protect us. So, dear guardians, you're guarding us with all your might. I know I'm always under your protection layer. Dear cosmos, thank you for including us in your Leela. We love it. And let's expand our angel hearts. We are love. We are light. We are transmitting positive consciousness. And that's what the world is all about. We're radiating at a higher frequency and attracting whatever is coming our way, which is beautiful. Each one of us is open and receptive to love and goodness. And so it is. Let's close our hands, hold our hands together in front of our heart. Energize them by rubbing them. Bless our conscious, subconscious, our five senses in our face, eyesight, ear sight, mouth, nose, touch, our neck, our spiritual food taker, the food pipe, our shoulders, arms, upper to lower, our back upper to lower with the spinal cord included, our hips, chest, lungs, heart, liver, stomach, intestines, gallbladder, uterus, kidneys, sexual organs, excretory organs, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles of the feet. Let's come back up. Hands again, fold in front of our heart. Let's be grateful to our wonderful bodies. Dearest, magical, magnificent body of mine. Thank you to all the organs for working in the optimum best. Thank you to trillions of cells for radiating at a high frequency full of love. Thank you to the hundreds and thousands of kilometers of blood circulation system. You're keeping me always healthy. Muscles, tissues, fibers, glands, bones, skin. I'm so blessed with all of you working in perfect harmony. My body is in divine order. Anything unnecessary, may it be emotions, may it be anything like dis-ease, may it be any excess weight, is all leaving my body every day, every moment. I am whole, pure, and complete. And so it is. And with this positive, beautiful, radiating body of mine, I invoke in energy and blessings and share with my Sangha, their loved ones, and all beings on Mother Earth. Let's share our light. Hina, Shubhra, Ritu, Gyanji, Salish, Alona, Pratima Ji, Akshay, Ajay, Anju, Rigu, Naveen, Sangeeta, Disha, Archana, Nitin, Nehal, Prashant, Rima, Modita, Kavita, Prakash, Jikisha, Rohini, Shelly, Rajiv, Payal, Sakshi, Ankita, Anchal, Poonam, Prachi Diwan, Radhika, Sanya, Yatendra ji, Kuldeep ji, Parul, Veena ji, Ankur, Nikita, Usha ji, Bharat Bhai, Pooja, Sunita, Richa, Puneet, Ravi, Chandra, Shivangi, Shami, Ankur, Kripa, Amit, Seema, Yashvi, Shivani, Kripa, Shruti, Niriksha, Asmeet, Nisha, Radhika, Parul, and to everyone whose cameras are off, Shruti. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I think Shruti has slept off a bit. It's fine to have slept. Anybody wants to share what you felt? Could you meet any energy, any feeling? If any felt good, felt bad, it wasn't comfortable or it was too beautiful. If any feelings, yes, Rohini ji, sure. Please share. हाँ जी, we can hear you. बोलिए.
नमस्ते. बहुत दिन के बाद आज आपसे शेयर करने का मूड हो गया है. सुबह सुबह आज के मेडिटेशन में मैंने फील किया, मैंने पहले भी आपको बताया था, हायर सेल्फ, जब भी मैं ये मेडिटेशन करती हूँ तो मेरे गुरु मुझे दिखते हैं, याद आते हैं. बट आज गुरु के साथ मेरा पोता भी मेरे साथ शामिल हुआ इसमें, और ये तीनों की, मैं, मेरे गुरु और मेरे पोता, ये इमेजिन मैंने किया. और शायद मुझे मेरे पोते को ये सब कुछ देने के लिए बहुत मेरे मतलब फीलिंग्स होती है, वो आज कुछ ज्यादा ही उमड़ के आई है. और ये फील हुआ, मुझे बहुत बहुत खुशी लग रही है और कुछ अलग ही फीलिंग आ जा रही है उसके लिए. और गुरु के साथ उसको मतलब ये तीनों को इमेजिन किया मैंने एकदम हायर सेल्फ के, मतलब क्या वो पोजीशन.
तो रोहिणी जी, हम इमेजिन नहीं करते, ये अपने आप आते ही है. इट्स नॉट आवर इमेजिनेशन. इट इज समथिंग व्हिच इज मेंट टू कम. तो आता है, तो हम इमेजिन नहीं कर रहे होते हैं. इट्स मेंट टू कम.
अच्छा.
So there must be some reason. Your pota could be your soulmate. It could, you never know किस energy में आज वो दिख रहा है. You could be together for many lives. So yeah, keep finding, keep exploring. Could you just seeing people? Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, Richa, tell me. You have to unmute yourself.
Hi, Prachi.
Good morning.
Yeah. I'm audible?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. First time I'm sharing something here on this platform. Today, during this meditation, I just, when you tell that we have to imagine like someone is coming towards us, I just saw my mother-in-law. I have never
Mhm.
seen her. When I got married, she was already not there.
Okay.
So today, I just felt her. I don't know why I started crying a lot. I just
Mhm.
felt her blessings on me, and I felt very emotional today. Today is the
Good.
first time I felt her beside me, and I'm feeling
Wow.
very emotional. And I thought of sharing it with you.
Very nice. So you're being blessed. She's just see, people may not live with us, but they're pretty much here. We can't see them. It's a different realm, so we can't see. We haven't progressed to see them. But I'm glad she's around and she's blessing you. So how wonderful. Today she's made an appearance. So she could be a guide, right? So today we called for a guide. It
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah, yeah.
probably not be a higher self, maybe a guide. So more power to you. Keep being blessed. And now
Thank
when
you
you
so
have
much.
questions, you can always imagine her. Now I'm using the word imagine because now you've seen a part of it. You can invoke her and you can ask questions. You'll get your answers also.
Okay. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Thank you for your sharings. Any more sharings? Or we can meet tomorrow morning at 5 for sure. So thank you, Nitin, for always recording for our friends because I think a lot of them are doing them again. So thank you for the archiving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ritesh sir. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Sanjay sir. Thank you, Shweta. And thank you, everyone. God bless you all. Let's see each other tomorrow at 5. Keep sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.